Am I in focus? I think so. Welcome back to my mini series inside my micro bakery. I'm Lily and I run my own micro bakery in southwest London called Lily's Loaf, as you can see up here. So today I thought I would film a little Q&A, and this is something that I've never done before, so feeling a little bit, I wouldn't say nervous, but a little bit out of my comfort zone. The first one is... Okay, I'll go for this one. How long have you been baking with sourdough and how did you get started? So I think the first sourdough loaf I made was probably back in 2011, 2012. I think I can actually find a photo. I'm going to try and find it and insert it here for you. I think it was Paul Hollywood. And I think I still have the book here. Let me get it out. Here's the book. So yeah, I don't really know what prompted me to start making sourdough other than probably flicking through this recipe book and being a bit intrigued. I mean, yeah, so this is the recipe and I made it from scratch. So there's like a whole section on sourdough in his book, Bread. And I made this starter. I think I followed it to the T, and it was amazing. And then I made my first loaf, and I just remember having to wait for so long. And I think I posted it on my Facebook, just like when I finally made it, like after waiting for so long. So yeah, that was my first sourdough experience. What made you want to start selling bread? It's a very good question. So I guess I have to answer this in like two different ways. So the first would be, I was like a freelancer, like video editor, like small video editor. I kind of wanted to get into photography but wasn't really sure. I'm in my mid-20s, so I'm kind of like at that stage where you're trying lots of different things out and you're not sure really what fits after you graduated from uni. I got to a stage in lockdown where I wanted something a bit more full-time, and I was applying for lots of jobs but not really hearing much because of like the pandemic. That's when I wanted something more full-time, and because I couldn't find that in a conventional job, and because I couldn't go and work in a kitchen because of my allergies, or like a bakery because of that, I just decided to make my own business, and that's the reason why, really. And it just made a lot of sense to me to start it up, because I love baking so much, and because it's just like, it's such a part of me. So yeah, that's what made me want to start selling bread. And also I was very inspired by a couple of people. I read an article about this young woman called Kitty Tait, who runs a bakery called the Real Orange Bakery in Oxford with her dad, or it's just called the Orange Bakery. I think her Instagram is called the Real Orange Bakery. And I was very, very inspired by her because she started making bread after she dropped out of school when she was having a tough time with her mental health. And she found bread making to be incredibly therapeutic, and I related to that on many different levels, because I have struggled with that in the past, struggled with my mental health in the past, and I've always found baking and cooking to be enormously therapeutic. And yeah, her story moved me a lot. And then also a woman called Djosefin. She runs a bakery in LA, called the Black Forest Bakery, and she started her micro bakery during lockdown as well, and I was very inspired by her too. So yeah. Will you buy a bigger oven as your bread production increases? Yes, I already have, and it should be coming at the end of the month, which is very exciting. It's a Rackmaster RM 2020, if you're interested. If you don't mind sharing, how much was your startup cost for the bakery? Because I'm a bit of a geek and I've got a spreadsheet, I can tell you exactly how much I spent in my first month. I spent £278 in December, and that was on like really basic startup costs. I spent money on the business premium account on Wix so that I could unlock like certain features that I wanted on my website, and I also spent some money on like the domain, so liliesloaf.com, or like the domain renewal or something like that, because I'd had my website in the past but for my photography work. So yeah, that's how much I spent in that month. But I would say if you're looking to grow and if you're looking to like build like a fully functioning micro bakery, I would say from my experience you would need up to about £6,000. Something that I actually learned, something really interesting that I learned from, well, first my mum, she always said you need to like speculate to accumulate, that's the line, and she always said you kind of need to go bigger with the equipment because you will grow into it. And it's something that Sourdough Sophia, another baker who I follow, who's based in North London, runs an amazing bakery which I really want to go to. She has lots of advice for micro bakery owners too, and she says you will always grow into your equipment, so kind of like go as big as you can with the money that you have, and you will make use of it. So that £6,000 will cover the cost of my new oven, fridge, worktop, packaging, even if it's very basic like mine, so brown paper bags, brown boxes, string, that kind of a thing. So hope that helps. Plans for the future of the bakery, or just the future? At the moment I'm really hoping to organise a market stall for Lily's Loaf, and that will be somewhere in London where they have an available slot, but that's what I'd love to do next. And then in the future, maybe even having my own little bakery. That is the dream for the bakery. What inspired you to make gluten-free loaves? Well, it was actually one of my sister's friends. She is gluten-free, and when she heard that I was setting up Lily's Loaf, she was like, please make a gluten-free loaf so that I can subscribe every week. And now her and her family subscribe every week, which is lovely. And then also one of my neighbours, she's gluten-free too. She really wanted a gluten-free loaf, and I also wanted one just because the whole idea behind Lily's Loaf is that anyone can kind of walk in and they feel safe, that they're looked after, and that there are options for them, like no matter what their dietary requirements are. Do you listen to music while you bake? Which bands, artists, songs? So interesting this. I listen to podcasts actually. I listen to like Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert, How to Fail with Elizabeth Day. I listen to, what else do I listen to? Like Desert Island Discs, that kind of a thing. Do you wish to someday have a physical shop? Yes, definitely. What is the most difficult part of your bakery? When the dough doesn't turn out how you want it to. There are people expecting the loaves, and you put in so much effort and so much love into every single one of them, and for whatever reason, that is probably one of the most difficult parts, not being able to sell them, and just the huge disappointment. That's probably the most difficult part. Also, I guess like the washing up. I hate the washing up so much, but it has to be done. What time do you get up on bake day? Well, I get up at 6 every day, just because like I'm trying to train myself into it. Well, I'm pretty good now at getting up at 6, but I feel like once you get up at 6 one day, you kind of have to keep it consistent for your body to understand what's going on and to get used to that shock. So yeah, I get up at 6 and then turn the ovens on and then start baking around 6:30 or so when they've fully heated up. And I think that's all of the questions that I'm going to do today, guys. I really hope that was useful for you. It was something new for me, definitely. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you want to see next week. I've had a few requests for different kind of like tutorials, so I might go back to like a baking style video next week. But yeah, thank you so much for all your support. If you're in South London, do order from my website below, liliesloaf.com, or if you're somewhere else in the world, then just follow me at Lily's Loaf on Instagram. But yeah, thank you so much for all your support. You guys are really very kind and so interested, so yeah, thank you so much. Bye.